Let's be real, being a student is a total grind, right? Between classes, studying, maybe a job, and trying to have some kind of social life, who actually has time to figure out this whole being healthy thing? So, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise. We'll give you a simple, doable framework to boost your well being without piling on more stress. Let's get right into it. Okay, first things first, let's do a little reality check. I want to kick things off with a single number, a number that paints a really clear picture of a habit that's shaping all of our lives, whether we notice it or not. 205. Yeah, you heard that right. A recent study found that's the average number of times we check our phones every single day. If you do the math, that's about once every 5 minutes that we're awake. That is a whole lot of distraction. So, does that number sound a little familiar? With that in mind, let's run through a few super common student habits. As I go through these, just do a quick, honest check-in with yourself. Seriously, no judgment here. This is all about awareness. Think back to finals week, or maybe the night before a huge project was due. Be honest with yourself, which side of this slide were you on? The 4 hours of sleep powered by an energy drink, or the 7 hours backed up by just plain old water? And how about just moving, between the lecture hall, the library, your dorm room? Are you hitting that 2,000 step mark, or are you getting closer to the much healthier target of about 8,000 steps? And finally, let's talk about your study sessions. Are they a 3-hour nonstop marathon where your focus probably just tanks after the first hour? Or are you using a smarter, more sustainable method, like 50 minutes of focus work and then a real 10-minute break to reset your brain? So if you saw yourself on the unhealthy side of those slides, please don't feel bad about it. That's not the point. The point is to realize that making the healthier choice is actually a skill, and it's a skill that's absolutely crucial for you to not just survive, but to actually thrive at university and way beyond. Let's talk about why this is so important. This skill actually has a name. It's called health literacy. It sounds kind of academic, but what it really means is your ability to cut through all the junk you see online, understand what's solid health advice versus just a passing fad, and then actually apply it to your own life. It's not about being a doctor. It's about being an expert on you. And what's really interesting is that this isn't a skill everyone develops equally. A study of over 3,000 students found something pretty fascinating. While health science majors, which, makes sense, scored the highest on health literacy, engineering students actually scored the lowest. It just proves that being brilliant in one subject doesn't automatically mean you have an intuitive grasp on your own health. But you know what? At the end of the day, your major doesn't matter. University is a massive fork in the road. The path you start walking down now, the habits you form, the health literacy you build, it doesn't just impact your grades. It's literally setting the foundation for your physical and mental health for decades to come. So how do we start building that foundation without it feeling like another chore? It doesn't have to be complicated. You can forget all the complex charts and crazy restrictive plans. Let's look at a brilliantly simple framework to help guide you. Meet the Rule of Eights. It is just a super simple, memorable guide for a balanced lifestyle. The whole idea is to aim for 5 key things: 8 hours of sleep, 8 servings of fruits and veggies, 8 glasses of water, 8 minutes of mindfulness to chill out, and 8 meaningful social connections. Think of it as your daily mental checklist. Easy, right? Let's just zoom in on that first 8, sleep. Because the risks of cutting corners here are actually really serious. It's not just about feeling groggy. Lack of sleep tanks your immune system, so you get sick more often. It crushes your ability to think clearly. And get this, driving while tired makes you 3 times more likely to get into a car accident. That's huge. Okay, and that next 8 glasses of water, is just as critical. I mean, your brain is mostly water. So it's really no surprise that even being a little bit dehydrated, the kind you might not even feel, can totally sabotage your ability to focus in a lecture or remember what you just studied. Staying hydrated is one of the easiest academic performance hacks out there. For real. All right, so we've covered the what and the why. Now it is time to make this personal and, most importantly, actionable. This is the part where you turn all this knowledge into a real-world habit that actually sticks. So, I want you to take a quick moment just for yourself for a private self-assessment. On a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is needs a lot of work and 5 is I'm crushing it, how would you rate yourself in these key areas right now? Just a quick honest gut check. Okay, got your numbers? Now listen up, because this is the key. Do not try to fix everything at once. That's just a recipe for burnout. Just look at your list and circle the one area you want to put a little focus on for the next 7 days. Just one. That's it. And your goal for that one area should be what's called a micro goal, something small, specific, and totally realistic. So instead of, I'm going to get more sleep, try, I will be in bed by midnight 3 times this week. Instead of, I'm going to exercise more, try, I'm going to walk 6,000 steps a day. The whole point is to build a win, not to be perfect overnight. And that right there brings us to the most important takeaway. University life is stressful. That's a fact. The goal here isn't to add another thing to your to-do list or demand perfection. It's about empowerment. It's about knowing that you have the power to choose one small habit that protects your body and your mind amidst all the chaos. So take a moment right now and decide, what's your one thing going to be this week?